Okay, so now let me ask you a question. What does this have to do with anything here? I didn't click on Obama's or anything like this. What the fuck this got to do with the daytime changes? What the fuck is this about? And it's the news I targeted because when I opened this shit first, that's the video it played. But it didn't make sense because that's actually the video that should play. And you have to admit, this is really provocative, insane shit. When you click on permanent daylight saving times and you get this kind of video, for which, by the way, I was brainwashed it's going to be a psychiatry against me and I don't know what the fuck. This can be as disturbing as crazy people that you see right there. Because normal these people are not. They portray themselves like a normal people, but they are not held accountable for the crimes they do. Because it appears that the impact they make on the numbers is so positive that crimes against individuals are simply pardoned by United States of America government. That's at least what it appears. But this is not his fault solely. It's probably this man that's got the least to do with it. He was handled by the hatred, by more than hatred, he was handled by the British, by the Buckingham Palace, British pounds, money. That's what got him. You gotta admit that this news doesn't have anything to do with Obama. So how the hell do you push this in my mouth, basically? That doesn't have anything to do with Obama. Senate unexpectedly approves a legislation to make a daylight saving time permanent. And that's what I was told. I was told, no, this news here. The rude awakening of permanent daylight saving, and exactly the picture that you see right there is what they demonstrated me. Yahoo is a broker for the Moscow, for these politicians that you see, elites. I wouldn't call them elites. These are dumpsters, literally. These are trash. It's just the people that take like normal, like understandable. It's totally like normal. They can get away with crime. Basically, that's what this is. This shit. These are not elites. To be an elite, you have to be more than a gangster. You have to be more than a criminal thug. But in this case here, how far did this crime goes? No, that's exactly what I was demonstrated. This guy that you see here, and that's going to be you. It's going to be a psychiatric hospital. Well, what exactly happened? What exactly happened about the rude awakening? Who is disturbed so much? Well, let me demonstrate to you what exactly happened. Hey, for some reason I keep getting disconnected. That's kind of a weird signal. I don't understand why the signal would be so low. The router is downstairs and I'm right now in the kitchen area. I usually don't have this kind of signal. There is no wind inside of the house I would be aware of. Yet this is just a situation, and all of a sudden, look at that. The internet signal is boosted, just like this. Well, I don't know, is it somebody downstairs or not? The doors are locked. Before you get down, I wouldn't even do this shit because this computer is completely controlled tool. This computer is remotely controlled tool that anyone with access to this computer can modify, including my videos and audios, and they did. Not only browsers, not only closing me browsers when I watch something, when I do something in the middle of it, it just closes down. When I write the news, they close me browsers. It's a crazy shit that goes on with this computer. But it was, guess what? I'm used to it because it was like this with every other computer. It was like always like this. This, what I'm experiencing right now, despite all the stuff that I just have stated to you, this is a hallelujah. This is nothing actually. This is a fun time. This is a good time. Oh, look at that now. Troubleshoot problems. Tell me more about internet connection problems. So, what the hell is this all about, huh? And look at that. Now you have a Netgear all the way to Signal. Somebody just maybe really is downstairs and I'm not going to go downstairs. What I wanted to demonstrate to you, as soon as this dummy connects, or basically let me demonstrate this. Yeah, it's a router downstairs that somebody's doing this shit, either, or even more likely what I think it is. Oh, look at that! Look at the strength of the signal. All of a sudden, it's again boosted the signal. Okay, so let's go. Let's go back. And what exactly happened today? That about the daylight savings? What exactly happened? My mama told me, because I was going to go to the city and I was going to use the father's car. Okay. She would not allow me. She would not allow me to use. Simply, she would not allow me to use the car from the father, who apparently is demented and this and that. Let me just, in a brief, let me just finish. Father had all kinds of scenarios against mama, and mama had all kinds of scenarios against him, all the way to how he's not going to be in this world anymore by May. I was thinking it's going to be last year, now it's this year. They came up with the Dementia formula. They came up with all kinds of criminal scenarios, crazy, bad, crazy shit, born in the heads of psychiatrists from Ljubljana, from here, from Novo Mesto. Police, Slovenian police. And they push the garbage in my head. It's the garbage that any normal person, just like I did, would disregard. You don't want to go for that kind of stuff. That's sick shit. But when you're jobless, forcefully jobless, you are forced to a certain environment, whether you like that or not, and simply you are subjected to this shit because you don't have financial resources that you could use to depart from this environment. Now, in my situation, issues are so insane that even if you go to the hospital to check yourself, the physicians that tortured when you were drugged up, they would examine you and tell you that you don't suffer from any kind of, you don't have no problem, no health related problems, no nothing. You tell them shit like stuff that's actually alarming stuff, and even the stuff that you tell them, they interpretate on the reports, and so it goes. Basically, this is my life. She wouldn't, in short, she wouldn't allow me to use the father's car. And I asked her, how come? I said, but the father is demented. And you told me that I shouldn't even buy the car. In fact, that by May, this car is going to be mine. She said, yes, I did. I said, of course you did. Of course you did. I'm not allowed to use the car. I should go and ask father, who is demented, according to her, if I can use the car. And when I told her, listen, you told me also some other stuff when you held me drugged up about the father, all that stuff. So how all that stuff that you told me about and I'm not allowed to use the car, basically, if it's all that, and actually it's really nothing. And when I mentioned to her MK Ultra, she went straight and mentioned ambulance. I did not even mention her anything about the father, how he's going to be dead by May or something like this, with what she brainwashed me with. Downstairs is a clock, a big fucking clock. There was another one. She kept moving the clocks, and she told me when I was jacked up, the time. The time is going to be 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Now I see she changed downstairs. Now I see it's 10 o'clock. But she claimed under MK Ultra it's going to be 12 o'clock. And you know what that means, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Oh, no, I don't know what that means. What that means is the father is not going to wake up one morning. Well, why is he not going to wake up one morning? Because he's not exercising. Because he's not going to go for a walk. Because you're not going to take him for a walk. Because you're not going to do this. Because you're not going to do that. Because you're not going to, I don't know what the fuck you're not going to do. Oh, okay. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean after him. I'm going to prepare after him. Anything you want. But can you pay something little that I can use? And I will do all that stuff instead of you, because you're disgusted with what you have to do in the mornings to clean after him and so on. You bitch about that stuff. She bitched me about this, that she doesn't want him anymore, and I don't know what. Oh, that's where the problem was. No, that will not be. So, okay, that's okay. So, I tell you what, you don't have to pay me anything. I'm going to still take him for a walk. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Anything you want. Take him out. It was yell time on me. She yelled at me that I don't know what I did, that I took him to the stores and I don't know what. That I'm trying to kill my father with taking him out for a walk, for exercise. Father did stupid shit, ended up in the city where somebody who was arranged with, a Serb, instead would take him rather than at home. After I told him that this is our residence here, he took him to the old residence in the city because father started to act like he has a dementia and all kinds of shit like this. Police, back and forth. That's still okay. We can still work that somehow out. But man, taking him out doesn't want to go. Want to sleep all day long. Want to piss next to the toilet rather than in the toilet. Want to piss right at the entrance of my door to my room. Want to piss all over the hallway. Is spitting inside of the sink, so it gets clogged. It's all good. It's all good. We can put up with all that shit. But man, breaking in my room, fucking me up. I have a broken pants, chopping me watch, fucking me things, I don't know how many things up. Everything he possibly could get a hold of. Whoa, that's a little bit difficult. That's a little bit difficult, man. That's a little bit difficult. So she told me today, I'm gonna call. Do you want me to call the ambulance? Do you want me to call the ambulance? I told her, well, listen, I can call one for you. I said, do you know how the police lights look like? They're blue, and I can do that for you, I told her. Please tell me, advise me, and I will do it for you. And so this is the type of environment we have. The type of environment we have is such. In 2012, my mother and my father went ahead and pressed lies against me with the rest of the family. Just today I met the lady who had a dog, Schnauzer dog. Schnauzer dog, she was involved in MK Ultra, and she had this Schnauzer dog. And Schnauzer dogs, to me, to be honest with you, they're not, I don't know how pretty, I'm not crazy about them. I don't like really, I like more probably dogs with a shorter hair, is what it is. But I am a dogs person and cats person, and I love children, but it's no fucking way you can get involved. You can get along with this family. That's why I want them behind the bars. These people are overdue. Should be behind the bars a long time ago already. But this Schnauzer, the dog she had with her, it was a beautiful dog. Really beautiful. Beautiful to me because it was a Schnauzer, had these different characteristics, and had a short hair because she always trims him. And that really appealed to me. But still, I was afraid of the dog. I wouldn't play with that dog. I wouldn't play with it because under MK Ultra I was brainwashed that this kind of dogs, Schnauzers, it's not even a big dog, but they have a tendency to just go and bite. They're vicious. Well, my sister, who claimed the other day, and I played you the video about the Roma people, how she tried to get me in trouble at the public place where they recorded everything too. She was not the only one recording this stuff. Gestured, you could heard. I don't know if I did play with that. She talked about the guy that had a pit bull, and that this guy was aggressive with this pit bull, that he would go and harass people, that he would go and harass her with her dog, and she was afraid for his life. And because of the shit he was doing, he was apparently doing that kind of stuff to other people too. Probably, I have no idea what happened, either psychiatry or police, or I have no idea what happened with this guy. What I can attest is that when I came back from US after 11 and a half years I spent there, I never would come to Slovenia on my own. I was brought here all the time for torture, drugged up by the Central Intelligence Agency, but I never would come here. The dog my sister had, the Schnauzer, was completely insane. The dog would be inside of the car, locked whenever I would be outside in front of the house. Because as soon as the dog would see me, the dog would, like a bull, you know, just wow into me. A small dog, but completely vicious, completely insane, regardless of what I would do. And it's what my sister referred to me, that I was bullying the dog. I will explain to you why. Regardless of what I would do, give him a cookie, offer him a cookie, or whatever I would do, I couldn't approach that fucking dog. The dog was mad, completely mad. He was already, when he was locked inside of the car where she kept him whenever she would come, if I would only approach to the car where the dog was inside, because the dog was barking like insane, and you could hear this on the videos from 2012, that the dog was completely insane. I don't know what else she did, but I'm going to explain to you what she was doing with me with that dog. The dog would start to grab seats from the car and fucking chew them. He'll start to uh, get anything inside of the car to grab with the teeth. You know, that's fucking crazy. I know it's a Schnauzer dog, but they're not that vicious. That's fucking impossible. The dog would be just that vicious. But guess what? I let it go, that stuff. But the other day when she mentioned about this dude that had a pit bull and this and that, this dude was a normal guy who disliked her just like her brother. That's myself. Nobody was as violent, as criminal, as my inner circle of people, therefore my family. Nobody was as willing to assist Milan Kucan and Borut Pahor in crime against me. Vladimir Putin, Vucic, Serbs, Chetniks that were coming here. Nobody was as willing to assist. This people, this family of mine, nobody was as criminal, as violent as they were. Nobody. I already talked to you about my mom, about my dad, but let me tell you about the dog, what my sister was doing. She was doing a whole pack of other stuff. But with the dog, I can recall clearly. She would use one to terrorize because the dogs, when you were drugged up, they had German Shepherds, they had pit bulls, they would have them lounge at you, jump on you, and that's how she used her dog on me. The dog would just, how she's going to release the dog and it's going to tear you apart and I don't know what the fuck. You drugged up, even the dog of that size could do you harm. I'm a person who is peaceful, tranquil, quiet person that rather takes his way, his side, moves away, moves aside, don't want to have a conflicts with the people, especially not with the sister. But my sister is just what I stated it is. It was a beast. It was a beast, and different from my father, that he would have other people, police, to engage in interrogations with me when I was drugged up, while he would be coming from the side and punching me in my kidneys. That's the kind of stuff he would do. And I wouldn't go about my mama, about the stuff she was doing. But this is completely unacceptable environment. For me, completely unacceptable to have these people around today, to make myself clear. It's not that something would be wrong with me. I avoid these people because I don't want to see them. I don't want to see my mother. I don't want to see my father. These people are overdue to be booked inside of the jail. Why the fuck are they here? Why are they here? Because they told me they will pay your bills. They will pay your bills. And they created a whole fucking set of conspiracy theories about father's dementia, about my mother's pressure, how it's going to be. If you're going to talk, it's going to be the pressure. And she had all kinds of shit she was writing around here, leaving notes, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of crazy stuff, just so I wouldn't go and publish the audio recordings during which father even claimed that my mother is not his wife, that she never was, that she's a city employee, and all kinds of crazy shit. All related to conspiracy theories they presented me throughout MK Ultra. For me to finish this video, simply, my mother, to put it plain and simple about this stuff, is paying the bills so that I can be jobless. In 2012, I rated her, if I go back, as completely unacceptable. I did call her names inside of the psychiatric hospital. I stated that I do not wish to eat food. she prepares. And part of the deal, so upon return from Poland, was my preparing meals myself. My preparing meals myself, just so, because it was unacceptable that I don't eat whatever is prepared. This is the kind of politics they run, basically. This is the politics they run. And so that for everything that happens to me, I could blame it myself. Now, what happens to me is today I bought the sugar, brown sugar, inside of the store. When I brought this sugar home, I just started yesterday washing all the lemons, washing all the apples, before I peel them off. Washing the fucking sugar package. But this is packed in a plastic, like solid plastic. It's a sugar, brown sugar, processed, unprocessed sugar that's packed in a plastic that should not be fucking, it should be vacuumed. Why? Because under MK Ultra, they brainwashed me. They went as far as, and it didn't click me until now. The guy stated to me that you're going to have to wash absolutely everything, including packages, including the apples, including whatever you're going to peel, whatever skin you're going to peel off from the fruit, whatever you're going to do, you're going to have to wash them first, then you're going to peel them. And I was like, why? Because the guy insisted to me, well, it's still, you still have this, you can hear still this. I said, what are you talking about? Why? Because the poison is not going to be inside of the food. They're gonna, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna poison your packaging. They're gonna poison your fruits, whatever you're gonna reach out and you're gonna peel, and it's gonna glue onto the fruit, which is gonna be peeled, and you're gonna eat this, and it's gonna be poison and shit like this. And I said, come on, man. Go away, this and that. And he would turn around and he would say, he doesn't believe me, guys. He doesn't believe me, guys. But today in the store, when I came back and I did wash the package, I still don't believe this shit, but out of precaution, because I have this going on for almost now 5 years, and all these complaints to the physicians don't help. None of them is willing to actually assist. They were not willing to assist in Poland. They were not willing to assist in Slovenia. I washed this sugar, and guess what? The water went inside. And my surprise, I was like, how the fuck is water? Because I brought home, there was no sign of anything punctured, because it would be punctured, it would be sugar around. But I suppose that there was a hole, a very, very tiny hole. Water was all over this sugar. I'm actually drawing one. I placed one on a radiator because the water went all over inside. This is the packaging. This shit is thick vinyl. It shouldn't go inside. But let me explain to you about the fucking stores. It's a store right next to psychiatrist Peter Kapsch, who was involved in this. It's a store, I'm talking about, right next to the police, the store. It's called Eurospin. But this is the problem, is not about store itself. It's Italian store. I think it's the best store anyways. That's what I think. I think this Italian chain of stores, I think they're the most affordable, far most affordable, and in respect to the quality, numbers of the versatility of the items they are supplied with, they offer to the consumer, I think is the best store. Value, price to value of your purchase in that store is right on the top. Better than German stores, better than Slovenian, far better than Slovenian stores. It's just a store that if you don't have, especially if you don't have the money, you will go to. Now it's a little shit I buy in that store because I don't have the job. Luckily for me. I would buy this, I would buy, let's say, cocoa, and that's all I would buy. I wouldn't buy anything else. That's all I would buy. And now let me explain to you about the employees inside of that store, employees inside of the Tuš, that's a Slovenian store, and employees at, well, and employees in Hofer, employees in Lidl, the German stores. They would do all kinds of stupid shit in Lidl. In Hofer, they would do all kinds of stupid stuff, but they never had the guts to go out and tell me that they will poison the stuff. That based on whatever we will observe, you consume, whenever you're going to go to the store, we're going to make sure that it's going to be poisoned. They did this stuff in a Tuš, that's a Slovenian store. They never did any of that in Mercator, the most expensive Slovenian store, for which they wanted me to become customer of. That's because that's a Milan Kučan, that's a Borut Pahor store, basically. They poisoned, literally poisoned, through the Tuš store. Mother purchased some kind of chocolates for which I was told how sick they're gonna make you. She purchased them, but according to MK Ultra, she had to purchase them. Whatever poison she placed on a table, stuff that I would be sensitive to, that they acknowledge is poisonous from the local stores, supplies, whatever they rated that caused me health problems in whatever condition they have done. I have no idea what's going on, really, to tell you the truth. They evaluated, and she always was used a clause. The stuff that I bring, that I put, that I do this, that I do that, do not eat, that's a poison. Okay. We go to the fucking fridge, you're gonna see a mayonnaise, you're gonna see shit like this, you're gonna see all kinds of shit that will fucking kill you. But don't worry about that, because I acknowledge that stuff as a garbage under MK Ultra. Basically, it's the stuff that other people like, and out of my own experience, I know that this is nothing else than a fat, the mayonnaise, this kind of shit. And then you have this kind of stuff from the pig. How do you call this? Like bacon? This shit is like mega fat. It's really not good. The honey I purchased, they told me, don't think that in honey the poison cannot be sipped inside, they told me. The honey was good for some time. It made me real feel good. Or maybe there is something else they're doing. I mentioned the radiation. But with the time, as I ate that honey, I started to get fucking sick. I couldn't take it anymore. So, I don't know what exactly happened to that honey. You can tell, all I know is that you can tell the person, but this pretty much is it. This is the fucking fat. You want to eat this one, put yourself on a, as a cancer patient, put this shit on the bread and eat that one. It's really delicious for you. There is some wine here. Oh, and there is the carrots. And there is eggs here. But then, basically, that's it. Yeah, you have, I have sardines that are frozen, maybe 3 months already in the fridge. There's chicken. The thing is, in 2012 I told these people, I acknowledged my mother with everything except not with the human inside of the asylum, inside of the mental hospital where they hospitalized me without any justification. I think it's not okay not to allow a person to work and fuck with him like this. I don't believe that kind of stuff. Excuse me. And it's exactly what psychiatry played. Mommy. They played on a mommy. They wanted a mommy. So for this mommy, they came up with the 1,000 and million scenarios. Why? You would say, why the fuck would they do this stuff? Oh, resorting me as the only way out through the mommy. Mommy is going to pay your bills as long as you're going to be compliant. As long as, if you're going to say something against Serbia or Russia, you're fucking dead anyways. That was just it. And then you know, Milan Kučan and Borut Pahvac, Udbac, Serbia, the Chetniks, Slovenian Chetniks, and the police here that was involved. If you say this, then you're dead. Okay, so that's 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. But I still have a problem. And it's not that people love to cook for themselves, like my mother told me. And it's not that this would be used so I will learn what is healthy and what is not healthy. That's why they brainwashed me. They insisted on how I have to eat the fucking vitamins and learn from the food what is good and what is bad for me. That's why we're going to give you cancer, and you're going to evaluate, and then you're going to stick to these rules, and when you're going to be perfect without making any kind of errors. They make a whole fucking bullshit scenario. You're going to save yourself. You're going to see, you're going to feel yourself good. Yeah, everything is going to be wonderful then. It wouldn't be any of that stuff if I had my own job, right? So, you know, mommy, such a mommy can be so unpleasant that you don't want to see her and not fucking daddy. Then you stay closed all day inside of your room. You don't even want to eat next to them. You wouldn't want to eat on the opposite side of the table. You would have an old man father that does like this to you from the other side. You wouldn't want to sit at a kitchen and have mother walk around and do like this all the time. Stuff like this. For which, by the way, you were told that this is how you're going to be acknowledged as demented and stuff like this. You wouldn't want to fuck with the people like this. These people are serious hazard to health. Very serious hazard to health. I told you, nobody was more violent than my parents. Today, it's just she had a blast. She had this kind of blasts whenever they approve her. So then she has those blasts. It's not about the food. Basically, it's not about what I'm trying to say, sharing the food with other people. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to meet women, have my family meet her, basically father-in-law and mother-in-law, and have a good fucking life. But it's the shit like this I don't want to have around me It's a shit like this that's overdue. It should be jailed. It should be booked already in the jail and jailed. Shouldn't be around me no more. Not because of this stuff, because these people did something else for 25 years. These people were beating me up, abusing me physically, psychologically, with other neighbors here, with the Slovenian government. And that's not okay. That's not acceptable, any of that stuff. Well, but it could be acceptable, actually, because you have to identify the people. Remember, identifying people will help you prove that you are not insane. Oh, we are already identified, I don't know to how many, close to how many people. I stopped publishing this shit, and frankly, this kind of kitchen doesn't smell to me good anymore. As I stated, these people should be booked inside of the jail already. And so now we have coordination. On one side is a poisoning, and on the other side we have a people you come out to meet, and they always make sure they push you the people that engaged in violence, so that you who have to recall the people, so you get the proofs about MK Ultra, you recall nothing but basically violence. And only if you're nice, then people will confirm that they actually maybe know you. That's the game, the mummy game from psychiatrists, so that you can always come back and beg for more. Food is like this. When I came from Poland, I was in heaven. There was food, chicken. When I would go to the stores, I would buy fish, maybe twice. When it comes to fish, listen, when it comes to fish, I don't know, but maybe in a year and a half, I don't know if I consumed 15 kilo of it. No, I think 10 kilo maybe. I didn't eat any fucking fish. And that fish right there, it sits inside of the fridge, just like pomegranate apples seated right here on a door stairs, on a stairways, till they rotted. The only fruit that I would eat, and it would make me feel good. But, and I paid out of my own pocket for that stuff too. But when you recall the shit, literally through, we're gonna do this to you because you laughed to Trump. Trump was sick. He ate 2 rotten pomegranate apples, and you were laughing at him. We're gonna do that too. Okay, so let me go and pay you the fucking money for that. So you can come inside of the house and get my fresh pomegranates and maybe deliver me rotten ones from the store. It's good business for you, because they're quite expensive here too. So that you can demonstrate me how I can fuck myself eating rotten pomegranates. You're gonna talk against Serbia, against Milan Kuchen, then what you do, like this. And what? And now it's gonna rotten. That's not a healthy environment. I don't know how the fuck these people inside of the stores work in there like that. How the fuck you have people that claimed they're gonna poison the food, they're gonna do the stuff like this, and they work inside in there. How the fuck you have a people that promised me next to the Belarus guy will get clothing destroyed, either destroyed or old clothing, worn out clothing, the clothing that the Belarus guy, that happened, used, and they would put that stuff on a special price, and you go inside of the store and you buy a brand new one, the same shit like delivery through the eBay or AliExpress, for which they told me it's going to be the case. You buy a brand new one, and Andre and Kyoto, they demonstrated, you see this shit, you see this shit, you see this shit, you see this shit, yeah, but you see this, but can you repair this? You think we could repair this? We could do this, we could do that? No, this is no good, this is no fucking good. Well, you're gonna see, yeah, so you go and you order. Oh, don't worry about it, Sergey, don't worry about this one, don't worry about that one. Don't worry about that one. We're going to get you his. We're going to get you a new one. Yeah. What that means is that you go to the store, you get a 50% discounted rate, you bring home new. The next day, they switch you with some old piece of shit. That's what the fuck that means. That's all there is. And but who the fuck is doing that kind of stuff, man? Who the hell is going in there and doing that kind of stuff? Well, my father did fucked recently with door handles a little bit too much, and I just don't know how many of the photos I took lately from the door handle that is just always unscrewed. I have all kinds of garbage in here. I recorded. There is nothing other than crime. Yay. This stuff here, this is just, yeah, 800 meters toward the city from this residence. It's the only way you could get there. It says sick fuck, you see that? And then you have over there Sergey and stuff like this, that kind of stuff. But that's okay, under the bridge. I don't even know if I have this shit here. The door handle is very, very important, I was told, because the door handles, I remember how they used to pick me up at night when I would go sleep, would just disappear too often times. Well, father fuck with that. Who goes inside of the room? Who goes inside of the room? I'm gonna tell you who the fuck goes inside of the room. I didn't. I was not lucky. But I bought a brand new locks from China. And it's just a stupid thing to do. And that's what the father is desperate. Every time it's unscrewed. But it's also other people that go inside too. Because when we did go together to the stores, it was other people that would go inside. And they would leave me signs that they were inside. Like I lost gloves, let's say, at Trška Gora. Lost them by talking to an individual, and once I proceeded from an individual, I realized that gloves were gone. They disappeared. Next day I went to the store with the mother, and the gloves appeared right on the table when I returned back from the store. So, they make sure that they remind you of that shit. It's not only parents, but nobody has more access to the room than parents have. They switch. They simply switch. It's a police officer here. Just one house, two houses from here. It's a Berger here. It's Kolenz here. It's the whole street here that was involved in crime. Kota is right here. My mother goes to the neighbor, they give her the item, she has, I don't know how many fucking keys, and goes inside and that's it. What's the point? Point is that I bought the keys, locks from China. She got a hold of them the second fucking day. What's the point of going and changing the lock when she already had the fucking lock? You waiting on for 1 month to come from China. It's no fucking sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It's actually even worse because the packages, I just got the watches again, very cheap. But it was exactly according to the scenario. One watch was broken, already arrived, broken, destroyed. And watches you can see are used in the back. It's scratches and shit. Just like I was told exactly the case is gonna be. I know. I bought from China 4 watches for €7, something like this, or €8, let's say. I did so because there's a single watch here in the city that costs, the cheapest one, it's €8. So I figured out from China you can get 4 for that price. And for the watch that doesn't work, Chinese, all through the damage was done in Slovenia. Nobody else does this shit. I already have refunded the money. So no worries, it's always better way through China than any other way. But here's the point. I'm still trying to make the point about this shit. The environment itself, it's so toxic that I don't want, fucking eat, prepare food for myself anymore. Not because I would be lazy. I love cooking. I love cooking. Just like I love children. And I love dogs, animals, cats. But holy fuck, hey. These people are trying their best to make my life hate life. Under MK Ultra for no less than 27 years is when this inner circle, the parents, engaged with my niece, with my sister in crime against me. With the psychiatrists, with the chief of the police, previous, who became director of the police of the Slovenia, and the guy who replaced him. This is just crime unlimited. So guess what happens? It's not about the food the mommy cooks anymore. You lose the will to go cook for yourself too. If I give you the recordings, the shit, what the water bill, it's €100, my mother claims. Maybe it's 10, I don't know, but she claims it was 100 and shit like this. No special food for you, what the fuck, eh? And what is the special food? The fucking sardines I buy 1 kilo for €3. That's why these fucking sardines already sit in there for 3 months. Because everything started to stink. Everything stinks. This isn't about me being lazy, not want to or do this or that. I work. I do cancer. I do broken spine. Those are the qualities you don't get by copy-pasting from other journalists, from other people, like most of the journalism is. I work. Even that I don't get paid shit, I do the stuff that other people don't. And it's the work that has impact on nations, on people that make decisions, because it is exposing certain things. Of course, not everything, but does certain things good for some, that hopefully can have something out of this, because I do believe in people. Just as I stated, I'm a people's person, I'm animals person. And some people just don't want me to be as such. I'm just saying, I'm just clarifying these issues. Um, I'm just clarifying these issues about, yeah, I know, I'm supposed to come back home from the city where I went. Yeah, I bought car, used car, exactly as I was told the case is going to be 4 times, and then you can throw the keys away. Eventually it's going to be really expensive to even, I don't know how to say that, odjaviti, that means signed off your vehicle. You have to return the license plates and stuff like this. Very expensive shit right now for me. With a broken car right in front of the house, of which keys disappeared 1 week earlier. I posted the video about Tashkagora. 1 week earlier, the keys would disappear and appear back in my pocket in such a way that I could see that the key was open. Then it was oil under the car and all that other stuff that I stated. That's the people I'm around with, basically. This is, like I said, I work. I do my stuff. I work. A little bit difficult when you're told by the people like this that you don't work. People that basically lifted the society I suppose that with their work, but lived out of my handouts like a parasites. And now I'm talking about the society, out of my handouts. This society here got renewed, modernized machinery for entire Kirka pharmaceutical company through this case. They got the markets. Live like a parasites out of my own handouts and treat me below animal status, basically. And there you go. That's a game from the Slovenian psychiatrist, Slovenian police, and my inner circle here, which I told you about is the most abusive criminal family people that were involved ever in my case. That's a magic circle. Psychiatry, Slovenian police, Slovenian politicians, the number one shackles on my hands. I'm not Britney Spears, by the way. That's a fucking lie, big one too. Those are my parents here. This case is real. I have not received a dime of support from anyone since 2008 when I started all this stuff. Since 2008. That's 14 years. Not through the PayPal, not through the Patreon, not through my banking accounts, not through any fucking shit. You get it? This is the real deal. This is the real shit. And I work for my stuff. And I'm saying this because the guy who was involved in MK Ultra since '96, I have a talk with him the other day, not even a week ago. And he asked me what the fuck I do for a living. Maybe you don't want to talk to me anymore. If you don't know what the fuck I'm doing for a living and you're involved in this stuff since 1996, why the fuck you talk to me about it? If you don't know, I don't know who will know. You were part of this shit, part of this crime. And you ask me what the fuck I do for a living. Okay, this is just a reality. Now you're watching a reality. Reality from the Britons, from the British, from the Buckingham Palace, who told me the guy around whom everything dies, everything he touches turns into the dust. Wow, how impressive the fuck that is. How impressive that is. And look just whom they have done this stuff. Well, yes, because the politic of Romanovs from London is the mirror of the Moscow. So it does make sense. It does make sense. Until the world is going to realize, acknowledge this, and stand up, what started with me, I told you, heard nothing, saw nothing, know nothing, became a COVID-19, a global conspiracy nobody knew about was coming, right? Even the whole planet knew about was coming. Then you had Ukraine, a little bit, I don't know, entire world feels like was not affected. All through the entire world is affected by this shit. Just wait that it knocks on your door. You will feel just how much you are affected. Because Romanovs in Moscow help Romanovs in London, just like Romanovs in London help Romanovs in Moscow. You will get fucked. You understand that? And so it goes. So it goes. For the stuff that you know is gonna happen, and you don't know, and you didn't know, and so it's growing, and so it's growing, and so it's growing. So what keeps you from talking? What keeps you from not asking me stupid questions? What keeps you from saying what maybe you would even say, unless you're in it for business, because this is how Buckingham Palace were buying people like this. What keeps you? Let's say, what keeps you from saying what otherwise maybe, just maybe, you would say? What keeps you? Today, Ukraine supply of weapons. It doesn't matter what they created on a Russian side against Ukraine. All the weaponry, the tanks, modernized Russian military, equipped one, got economy running, delivered cash, money, so they could go on with the war. The worse it gets, the worse that string is tied, the more you're going to need them. Either way you play. It doesn't matter whether you play on this side or on that side or whatever side. That's basically is what keeps you from what otherwise maybe you would even say what took place in my case. But that still doesn't do good to you, my friend, because just as I stated, it doesn't really matter where you are, even if you think you're not. You definitely are affected. You just don't feel yet, but when reality kicks your shit, you will know, you will acknowledge. If not with Ukraine, you were with the COVID, and I don't care where you are. There was a lot of people that also perished and all kinds of stuff, because this is reality. This is reality. This is not a fucking TV. This is not a journalists that have the stories based on clusterfuck next to the main agenda, so that one would be as least visible as possible. This is a real journalism. This is the real stuff. When you do the stuff like this, you get cancer, you get broken spine. That's when shit happens. This is reality. This is a real stuff. So that's all I wanted to clarify for this video today. It was almost, I'm going to say, close to perfect day, because I published this stuff here where I stated Slovenia as a nationality, as a state, from a legal point of view, does not even exist. And I pointed out that in the year 2003, due to national disgrace, due to omitting own national disgrace, due to intention to hide, to omit me, they went ahead and they even disbanded what otherwise was Slovenian territorial defense. Slovenian territorial defense was not a regular military, but it consisted of civilians which already have served in the military. We used to be a republic in Federation of Yugoslavia, and only under circumstances, if there would be a threat from the enemy, from the outside, that would endanger the well-being of our people, this territorial defense, which was, I'm not going to say replacement, but it was, it served just alike military, like Slovenian military, was disbanded in 2003. Further, they have disbanded obligatory military service in Slovenia. I did that military service in Slovenian military, in army, and I was really, really proud about it. I think that the country with only 2 million people, not even 2 million people, should have people trained on how to use weapons. I do believe that if there is an enemy, people have to be prepared to defend their national interests. And so, because we have a politicians, as I stated, and we still have, these are the politicians that demanded from our territorial defense, from our Slovenian military, to disarm themselves during attack on Slovenia by the Serbia and hand weapons to the enemy. These are the people who hijacked anywhere from first Slovenian presidency and all the way to what they turned into after disbanding Slovenian territorial defense, after taking away obligatory military service. These are the people who hijacked police and what became known as a professional military. And they have done this so that the people of Slovenia, and I earlier mentioned this territorial defense, couldn't, as I insisted them, I keep asking them for the Slovenian territorial defense to act on behalf of Slovenian constitution whenever I was brought here and have the police officers arrested. Well, Slovenian civilians who had the right to arms under the circumstances, if the nation would feel threatened, they would go to the depots where they have weapons and they would hand the people weapons out, and that's what Slovenian territorial defense was. rather than they would continue with the tradition, with this tradition, with the Slovenian territorial defense. As I stated, these were the people that were entitled to the weapons after the military service. In Yugoslavia, everybody was, in the Yugoslav Federation, everybody was obligated to serve in the military. Nobody was exempt from military service. So in the transition from Yugoslavia, from the Yugoslav Federation, from the Serbian, from the greater Chetnik state Yugoslavia, to the independent Slovenia, we had territorial defense and we had Slovenian police that defended us, our national integrity, from Serbian aggression on us. That was a transition. It was a territorial defense, police, in a newly independent established state. However, we still kept territorial defense, and we also opened what was a military service for every nabornik, like we say, a person, male person, after a certain age, after 18, whatever. Well, because I insisted, as I was brought drugged up to Slovenia for torture, for the sake of Chetniks, for the sake of UDBA here in Slovenia, for the sake of Vladimir Putin, tortured, literally escorted by the Slovenian police and tortured, beaten up, death threatened, drugged up, under drugged up status. And because I demanded from Slovenian people repeatedly to have territorial defense, territorialna obramba, territorial defense, take their position against the police like this, because the police obviously is acting like criminals. This is not a police. These people violated constitution. They violated all the rights, international treaties, absolutely everything. They were at fault. And they were acting against me on behalf of those who we just have fought war against. And rather than they would assist me, they assisted those that we have fought war against. And they have disbanded, first, territorial defense, and secondary, also a military service, obligatory military service. So the military conscripts instead would be reduced to professional troops, which pledge their allegiance, just like a police department, to selected few people, pro-Serbian, pro-Chetnik, pro-Russian, Borut Pahor and Milan Kučan, so that the justice would be killed absolutely in every instance of the national sovereignty. So that it would not be, so the police would not be charged, they would not be persecuted by any national organ, they would not be due to justice to absolutely anybody, they could just do unlimited crime, whatever the fuck they would want to do. For that matter, I stated that I myself don't see myself as a Slovenian, as a part of this nation, not as a Slovenian. And that's just because I'm not worth less than anybody else in this country. I served the military in Slovenia. Everybody had to. And because of what was done to me, it was done to me because the territorial defense, because the obligatory military service was dismissed, because it appealed to people enough, they would not pursue their national duties which this country required from everybody. So they want to go and do their way around. They don't pay any kind of solidarity with me. And because I feel that I'm just as worthy as these people, just as worthy as these people, no less than other Slovenes, who, however, feel that they can get a way around like this, I stated that I don't consider myself as a Slovenian. I'm not part of this nation. I also do not recognize Slovenia as a sovereign, as a nation. Not as a sovereign nation, but as a nation. And it was this stuff, it appears to me, that touched. If I go back to this news here, about the permanent savings, that touched somebody so badly in the nerves that it appears that they came out and they just, for the hell, couldn't restrain themselves from trying to intimidate with certain issues. Just so I'm giving you about how this garbage, this rude awakening, you see this permanent daylight awakening Congress, I was told it's going to be because you are going to end up inside of the psychiatric hospital for the rest of your life. You know, do you see this guy? You see this guy? That's exactly the picture. They sit me right in front of the computer and they insisted me that's what you're going to be for the rest of your life. Rude awakening, permanent daylight saving time. America tried it before. America, oh my God, America. God bless America, amen, and it didn't go well. America, how America tried, my God. Unexpectedly approved registration to make a Senate, it was not a Congress, Senate, to make a daylight saving time. Saving time, how are we going to be fucking saving? America, now we're going to be fucking saving. Haha, now we are going to be fucking saving. Huh? We're going to be fucking saving now. You're going to be fucking saving? Really? You're going to go to the fucking international court, the same like Slovenia. That's what the fuck it's going to be like. I don't know where that video is about Obama. About that Obama. That is a really Obama. That's a bum. This is a bum. It's not a bum because he would be black. He is a bum because Obama acted on behalf of Buckingham Palace. He's not even Uncle Tom. He's not even worthy to be called Uncle Tom because he's way more criminal. And I don't know if that is not bad enough. Dwayne Johnson, Mike Tyson, and all the stars, blacks, Democrats especially, they run to Moscow, boy. They run to Belgrade like fucking crazy in 95, in 96, in 97. Because they wanted me dead next to me. They wanted dead everybody. They want dead Polacks, Czechs, Slovaks, Romanians, Hungarians, Ukrainians. They just like Russia and Serbia. Slovenes, Croats are fucking dead. Dead. We want you dead. You understand? Now why? Obama is bad till 99. When Russians, London, Berlin, Washington DC signed agreement with one another. And that was the agreement about cooperation also in Africa. And then you have the Moscow bombings. And then you have a 9/11. And then it started to get hot. And it started to get fucking hot. And they started to smoke. And all this cash for lies was still tempting enough to go on and to sell yourself some more. I bet this stuff is still going to go on. But it was people in other continents that smelled the rat. It was people elsewhere. They understood what goes on. Now, this is actually important for me because everybody's talking about Republicans, Republicans, Republicans. And you must have noticed on my website more than anywhere else that I kind of suggested that I might be the one, that I just might be the one who's going to end this fucking Republican Party. Because guess what? I don't like Donald Trump. I don't like George Bush, even less. I don't like this garbage. It's the garbage that started it all. But the truth must be known from all the sides, because it's all the sides that are responsible for this shit. It's not only the Nazi shit. Guilty that Ukraine is paying today, dearly, for what you, as I stated earlier, what started with the COVID, it started with other words elsewhere. You're going to be paying this shit already. You are paying now. And even more, you're going to be paying tomorrow. I have nothing against Obama. I have nothing against black people. But taking a little conscience in consideration and accept some responsibility, even that financially you have profited so much, maybe would not be such a bad idea anyhow. I see Ukrainian refugees in Holland. Gestured in front of black refugees from Africa, from Mid-East, to make space for the European refugees. I'm not a member of this stuff. I see the black people coming from Africa to volunteer for the military service against the Russians in Ukraine. They fight alongside. That's exactly the article I was going to publish about Nigerian guy here, and I will, in short. And so it fucking bothers me that you come on my ass and you post a provocative article like this when you should be thinking about tomorrow, like sitting on a fucking electric chair, having your brain smoke through your ears and nose. Mr. Andrew, Prince Andrew, Mr. Charles, Prince Charles. Because you didn't do crime only against me. I don't know really what the temperature is right now around the world. I told you about how these people get away and how and why do they get away. But it just could happen so that anytime soon somebody will come out and say, you know what, this guy is actually saying in actuality what took place. And if that happens, my God, it really couldn't be me this here. It just could be that somebody else is going to end up like this, or maybe even worse. Amazing that these people destroyed me 27 years of life, of which no less than 10 since 2012. It was an open war on me, a hunt, literally, through forceful hospitalizations with psychiatry. Yet, whether you want to call them Republicans or liberals, this outlet here, this is called Yahoo. Let's open this article here. Theirs. I just want to see the sign from the Yahoo. It should be right here in the top. That's right. They fucking dare to come up and bully with stuff like this. Yeah. That's all I wanted to do for you for this video. I want to lock this down. The blue lights, they look blue. My mom yelled outside here in front of the garage if she wanted me to call the ambulance vehicle. Huh? What the fuck, huh? That's a guts. Ruining somebody 10 years of life at age 85, saying like this to your son who is 50 years old. I don't think it's $100 I spend for the food every month. I'm just saying because I think it's $150, euros I should say. They give people inside of the psychiatric hospitals, I think, just for buying themselves cigarettes. Yeah, you understand your fucking contribution to me, because you live like a parasite in Slovenia at my expense. You ruined my life, and I'm gonna get you to the court and fuck you on that court, just as I'm gonna do with United States of America, which citizen I also am. Don't pride yourself too much on ambulance vehicles, because you're not in a position to do stuff like this. Today is March 17, 2022.